guys, I'm Charlie, a Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about my February TBR. I have 4 books on my TBR, and all of those books correspond with one of the Popsugar challenges. And besides that, I'm maybe going to pick a reading challenge from my TBR jar and then pick a book to go along with that for a total of 5 books. I might do that, I'm not entirely sure, because I have to read 50 books for the Popsugar challenge, and to get that I need to read quite a few books in a month. There are even months where I have to read 5 books to reach that challenge, so I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'll do that, I probably won't, because it's kind of hard to use a TBR jar challenge and then correspond a Popsugar challenge with that. It especially gets harder after a while when you read more books and then the challenges run out, so your TBR doesn't really match up with the challenges anymore and you have to go out of your comfort zone to pick some books. So let's just talk about the 4 books I have picked for the Popsugar challenge this month. The first book I was planning on reading in February is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is a standalone fantasy novel. It is a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. As you can see, there are tiny little flowers on the cover, and that is the reason why I'm reading this, because the Popsugar challenge that corresponds with this book is a book with a plant on the cover. So I've been wanting to read this one for quite a while. I bought this one last year. It is the hardcover edition. It has this beautiful cover. I love Naomi Novik's Uprooted, and I hope I will love this one just as much, even though I've heard slightly worse things about this book. But I still have high hopes. I've also heard there might be a female-female romance in here, which is kind of interesting, and I am definitely just excited about reading this one because I love Naomi Novik's writing, and I loved her ability to make a forest a villain in her Uprooted book, and I am kind of excited to see what she will do with this book. And I have no clue what Rumpelstiltskin is really about anymore, so I guess I will find out throughout this book because it's been quite a while since I read that fairy tale. The next book I want to read is one with more than 1 million ratings on Goodreads, and that is Wuthering Heights by Emily Brontë. I have read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë, but I have never read Wuthering Heights. I have ordered this one from Book Depository, but it hasn't arrived yet. It is in the beautiful Penguin English Library Classic Edition, so I can add it to my collection. And I don't really know a whole lot about this one. I think it's some sort of tragic love story, and a lot of people hate the characters in it. That doesn't bode very well for me, but I think it will be a fascinating read, and I definitely can deal with some unlikable characters. So I wonder how tragic this story is going to be and if it manages to touch me like some contemporary books do. Because I have loved classics in the past. I think this is quite a thick classic, so I hope it won't be too long for my taste, but I guess we'll see. And a book that I think should be turned into a movie based on the synopsis, because I haven't read the book obviously, so I can't really judge yet from the book, but synopsis sounds movie worthy definitely. I don't think it has been turned into a movie, but it's More Than This by Ness. More Than This had been on my TBR a couple years ago, and then I never ended up reading it and deleted it off of my TBR. But then I recently read the synopsis again, and I found it fascinating all over again and decided to end up reading it, especially because I really like Ness as an author. I really like The Rest of Us Just Live Here. I love this Chaos Walking trilogy, and I am excited about giving his standalone More Than This a try. More Than This follows a teenage guy who dies and then wakes up and discovers he is all alone in the world, and he has to try and figure out why that is the case. I don't know how this is going to end up, whether he really died or didn't. I think he did, but I do wonder where everyone went and why did he wake up in this strange world. Yeah, I can't really say anything else about it because it is very mysterious. That is all the synopsis said, and I can't wait to figure out because I love Ness's writing and his storytelling. Something entirely out of my comfort zone. One of the Popsugar challenges is to read a lit RPG, and I had never heard of this genre in my entire life, but it's basically an RPG, a role-playing game inside of a book, and not quite a choose-your-own adventure, but it's just a book wherein there are like stats updates, abilities updates, and like this character has collected this item inserted, and I think it's a little weird. I am currently reading this, and it is what I expected of it, but it isn't. It's kind of fun, but it's not necessarily good writing. I don't think there are any real lit RPGs out there that have good writing currently, but this one was a series and it came up when I googled for lit RPG, so I decided to give it a try. It's called The Land Founding Aleron Kong. I don't exactly know how to pronounce his first name. It is the first book in the series. It follows the character of Richter. He was a normal human being, but eventually he ended up inside of the game he was playing. It was an online game, but not quite anymore when he wakes up inside of this world. The world is a little bit different than what he's used to. He starts at level 0. He can actually die in this world, but he does respawn, but it is actually him. In this online game, he never really used to hurt. He didn't feel it because it was an online game, but now the stakes are actually quite high, and every time he dies, he definitely feels what happens. And this is basically his story and him trying to get through this world, because it is his new world, and forging alliances and stuff, getting to know people, leveling up, and I think that's what the whole series is about. It's fun so far. It's quite a short book. I'll see what I think at the end of it, and I'll update you in my wrap up for next month. I guess we'll see what I think, and if I want to continue on with the series, because I am not quite sure so far whether I want to continue or if this is enough as a standalone for me. I don't think I'm going to grab a challenge for my TBR yet. I think I'll leave it at that, and I'll probably read a 5th book somewhere, but then you'll see that pop up in my wrap up at some point. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books. Are you participating in any reading challenges? What are you going to read in February? I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!